Let's talk about the Ottawa Senators, the team that finished 7th, just ahead of the Montreal Canadiens last year. And their big ads are also, we talk about teams that have added behind the bench. They are one of them. Travis Green is their new head coach. Perhaps most importantly, Linus Ullmark is their new goaltender. So that's great. They're trying to desperately improve a horrid penalty kill. They do that by adding Nick Jensen, who led the Capitals in shorthanded time on ice last year. So this is a team that needs help and looked like in the offseason they understood that they needed help. Even if they didn't get a million guys, everyone they got seemed to address a need.
Yeah, and like the 3 guys that are listed there outside of the coach, which like they absolutely need a coach. All disrespect to DJ Smith. That guy stunk. Linus Ullmark, Nick Jensen, David Perron. Older vets that are still pretty good. And how much did we hear last year that the Ottawa Senators need adults?
Mm-hmm.
I think Elliot Friedman said it like once a week on 32 Thoughts. He was like, from what I'm hearing, the Ottawa Senators want guys. They want NHL-ready guys. They want NHL adults. And they're willing to put everybody on the table to acquire those.
Grown-ups.
Grown-ups, yes. I think that you're taking steps in the right direction. I don't know what my like read on grown-up status would be with the Ottawa Senators as a whole, but I think that they're better. I don't think that they're good enough. Hey, thanks for watching the channel.
We appreciate everybody who checks out our stuff, but 80% of our viewers are not actually subscribed to this page, so if you could smash that subscribe button, it would go a very long way for us.
The more subscriptions we have, the more visibility we get from YouTube, which allows us to do more.
So press that button. Thank you. Let's talk about their goaltending. They were 28th in goals against, so they significantly upgraded by going from Korpisalo to Ullmark. Is that enough to get them to the playoffs for the first time in 8 years?
I mean, they ranked near the bottom of the league in basically almost all meaningful statistics.
Them and the Canadiens
year.
were the Canadiens too were. I think the Canadiens were bottom 10 in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say everything, goals for, goals against,
like when you look at one of those like charts, like one of those J Fresh charts, a lot of red, a lot of red and like rows.
Senators, let me give you 20th in goals for, 28th in goals against, 23rd power play, 29th penalty kill. And I got like a tidy bit of work on Nick Jensen and more than tidy bit of work on Linus Ullmark. On Ullmark, I would like to say this roster does have some, like whether it's Giroux or somebody else. They have multiple vets who are in kind of obvious walk and or retire years. Sign Ullmark now.
Well, that's
Make
what
it seem like that is part of that. The Ullmark thing is actually what you're doing, and that it's not a let's, the Bruins need to free space, so let's get Ullmark for not too much, and then we can move him at the deadline for a first-round pick.
Yeah, but I also would push back against that because what happens, and I was going to ask this question anyway, like what happens if they suck in the first month or two of the season? Then Ullmark becomes one of your biggest chips in terms of an asset that you can move. And then I think that maybe you look at either like a soft reset or a hard reset in Ottawa. Like if they suck this year, I think this is a potential blow up.
They're on blow up watch.
Yeah. Like you're obviously not going to trade like Tim Stützle, but like
that might be it. Tkachuk.
There's smoke around Brady Tkachuk and whether he wants to stay there anyway. Like they could be on blow up watch and like hard reset in Ottawa. You don't want to have a goaltender that you've locked in his 30s. And like I don't think that Linus Ullmark is going to want to be there if they're hard resetting and rebuilding.
Yeah, I mean, the Tkachuk thing is interesting because he seems like such a logical next person to be Jack Eichel. Like if you're to say that there's going to be another Jack Eichel situation in the NHL, wouldn't the most obvious candidate in the league at this point be Brady Tkachuk?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that's part of the situation they're in. They need to prove to their own guys that they've already given a lot of money to that, like, hey, this is good enough that you shouldn't force a trade. they're in a weird spot. They need more Michael Andlauer press conferences just to keep vibes high. Absolutely love that guy. They at least do get a full season of Shane Pinto, who missed half of last season due to a suspension for quote-unquote activities related to sports wagering, but he scored 20 goals in his first and only full season a couple of years ago. So he can make an impact as a middle six forward or move or become a second-line center or even first-line center if you end up moving anybody.
I mean, he's not going to be first-line center. You got Stützle
Yeah,
there.
Stützle's going to be locked in forever.
But Pinto, at the very least, is emerging as one of the most electric personalities in the NHL because the media tour that he's been doing this offseason and now like in actual media tour stuff he's been awesome. Great personality. Also very handsome guy.
Yeah. Most electric player on that team, though, is Ridley Gregg because he fires slap shots into empty nets. Sean was looking at me
vigorously
with are we not going to bring up
I was looking at the roster and I was like, I can't believe there hasn't been a Ridley Gregg mention yet.
What a legend. Broke the Maple Leafs. Great guy. I think he wears number 71 as well.
He does. Correct.
Oof, what an absolute stud. So that's what we like about the Senators.
We all silly like the mayor.